It's something we've never seen before. We are following that historic verdict in Donald Trump's hush money trial.
The former president has been found guilty on all 4 felony charges against him. Here's his reaction after the verdict was read.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble, but this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Why should voters vote for conviction? And let's bring in former federal prosecutor Rick Convertino and defense attorney Lillian Diallo. Thank you for being here on this major day in American history. As we said, this has never happened before. This is completely uncharted territory. I'd love to just start with your reaction. What's going through your head, Rick, when you hear guilty 34 times?
Extraordinary. I was here when I heard it, sitting with Lillian. It actually brought back a memory when I was a kid. Actually, I was 13. I'm a first-generation American. My parents were born in Italy. My parents had a bakery, and my dad was working and watching little TV in the corner, the Watergate hearings. And he told me, he said, I was 12 or 13, he said, you know, Ricky, listen, this is extraordinary. In this country, you have the President of the United States whose power, whose very power is at jeopardy right now. And not one troop has left their quarters. And he said, this is like nowhere else in the world. And that's from an immigrant's experience. And that's kind of what I felt today. I was reminded of that. Here you have the former President of the United States, the chief executive officer, the most powerful person in the world, arguably, who controls vast military resources, etc. And he was adjudicated guilty by 12 citizens, 12 ordinary citizens in the jurisdiction where he committed the crimes. And they considered the evidence, they deliberated, and they adjudicated him guilty on all 34 counts. And there's nowhere else in the world where that would happen. And that's kind of how I felt when I heard those guilty verdicts today.
Yeah, we're seeing live video right now of Mr. Trump's motorcade headed to his New Jersey golf course. Lillian, there are certain legal proceedings where you just never forget where you were when you heard those words, when those moments came in. How unusual is something like this?
It's staggering. I'm not happy, right? I'm a criminal defense attorney. When I heard there was a verdict, I got nervous, right? Put aside politics, put aside partisanship. This is a human on trial. And the system, you can't say it's rigged, because if you're saying it's rigged, right, you're the president of the, well, used to be the president, right? If it's rigged, you got the benefit. You got the benefit. You didn't go to jail for violating gag orders. You had tremendous leeway. You're attacking judges. I mean, the system isn't perfect, no. But you tell me anywhere else in the world that it's like this, where it's fair, right? Whether you agree or disagree with it, you just sit down somewhere. Don't double down, don't go out there taking up arms. We are civilized. And it is astounding. Like I said, I'm not happy that this man is convicted, but Remember, if you do something, they put it out there, either you did it or you didn't do it, they said you did it, be still and move on. Go ahead and campaign, see what happens on November 5th.
So let's talk about what happens before November the 5th, July 11, when we know the former president will be sentenced. The judge has the discretion to sentence him to either probation or up to 4 years in prison for each of these counts. That sentencing will be a few days before the Republican National Convention, when he will be named the official Republican nominee for president. Rick, do you think there's any chance in the world that Judge Merchan actually does sentence him to any time behind bars?
Yes, I know that's a kind of a unique minority position, but he's unlike any other defendant that I've ever heard of in 35 years of doing this. He's attacked the system, he's attacked the judge, he's attacked the witnesses, he's denigrated the court's orders, and I do think that this judge, who has discretion in sentencing, of course, I think the judge will sentence him to a term of incarceration in jail, Rikers Island, maybe for a period of time, maybe a few days.
So jail, not prison.
Not prison, no jail. I think he'll be. I think this judge will make a statement in order to rectify and reestablish the majesty of the system, if you will, the court's inherent power and authority. And I think that that's what will happen. I know that's way out there, and I don't think any other person has said that so far. But I do think that's a real possibility.
Yeah, well, so far this is in line with your predictions. We talked to Rick Monday, and he said within 3 days we would be hearing this outcome. Lillian, this is still uncharted waters for us, unknown territory that we're still trying to process. What does this do to the country?
So the country, if it's divided because you wanted it divided, because populism, nationalism, all of those things help you and your grievances. So when we have people getting convicted, getting slaughtered in the streets, nobody's out there, marching and taking up arms, right, for when there's something unjust. You got to see this in real time, and even though we should have had cameras in the courtroom, but that's neither here nor there, right? You got to hear, okay, this is what happened. Yes, Cohen is whoever Cohen is, but that's your fixer. Those are the people you had surrounding you. And so people are going to be upset for whatever reason. Like I said, I'm not happy, but the system did what the system was supposed to do, whatever that verdict was, whether it was guilty or not guilty, right? And Rick said something, the majesty of the system. I've been in many trials. I think I've done way more than you, Rick, unfortunately, right? Because I've 15 back-to-back, in June to a December, all capital. He had the temperament of this judge. I have been in courtrooms where judges have thrown things, right? Have said things that are snide, nasty, have said misogynistic things, right? Have said things based on race, little snips. This judge was even. That's what you want. You want judicial temperament. You attacked him. You attacked his family. You attacked the witnesses. We don't do that in America. This is America. This is not authoritarianism. This is not fascism. This is America. If you don't like it, you just don't like it. But you don't have the right to endanger people's lives because of what you want to push in your agenda.
Just to follow up on Lillian's comment briefly, one of the things that's going to be very difficult for the former president to do is go through the pre-sentencing investigation, which is of paramount importance. That's when they're interviewed by psychologists. They have their financial information disclosed. There's all sorts of detailed questions that have to be answered. They all go into a calculus that goes to the judge in determining, at least suggesting a sentence. Now, how is Donald Trump going to go through that process? Is he going to cooperate? Is he going to show any remorse? Well, clearly not, but is he going to cooperate with that pretrial investigation, the pre-sentencing investigation? And, is he going to sit down with a psychologist, which is required in New York? Is he going to disclose all of his financial information, et cetera? So that's also a calculus that we don't know about that'll go into the sentencing as well.
All right, well, you guys, I think you said the word staggering before. The implications of this are absolutely staggering. Of course, we will be following the fallout of all of this in the days and weeks to come. Lillian Diallo and Rick Convertino, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
your
both.
time today.
Thank you.